say business with um, with the event of, so when I say collaboration starts when we start conceiving of a business. So tomorrow when I start conceiving of a business, I start thinking of my collaborations. It can be of multiple vendors. It can be how I'm going to make, what is the business I need to do. It can be with my advisors. It can be with the market, which market I'm planning to enter into. It can be also into the different agencies that I need to deal with. And at each level, this collaboration is highly required. You cannot ever be successful in a business if you don't have the right collaboration. Tomorrow, I'm sure you all are doing big businesses, you are into big entities, or you are trying to get into big entities or grow the market or grow yourself into the market and establish. While we are all trying to do that, while we are all trying to have a good establishment or longevity, relationship or customer relationship, customer collaboration, customer or a business collaboration stands at the prime. Now, why do I say collaboration stands at a prime? Because the relationship that we have or the connection that exists between any entity that engage in the mode of business, we need to have the right relationship. Tomorrow, let me give you some examples. I'll give you some live examples of what we have gone through or what I have gone through in my career, where my collaboration has actually helped us. So that would be beneficial, and through that I will try to derive why collaboration is something very important and why business relationship is equally important for us to grow in the market today. We all know this, that we need to have collaboration, we need to have the right relationship. It is all there, but how and why? Now, how it is the bandwidth or the I would say the way we delve into the relationship. For example, I need to speak to a vendor. What should be my modality of speech? What should be my topic of speech? How crisp I should be with respect to my delivery of speech? And how, to what extent I should go ahead in that relationship is something that will define my relationship with my vendor. With my advisors, accordingly, how do I pitch myself? How do I take their advice? How do I collaborate with them? How do I engage in the discussions or in what I call it? How do I say it? To the extent of deciphering the advice or to understand more around the advice is what helps me in building my relation with my advisors. So let me tell you that all through my career, I have never actually been sitting in my office working. I've always been in the client location. My first client was Calcutta Stock Exchange. So that was a beautiful place to work. And when we started to work, the environment, if you look into, you feel, oh, that was way back in 96, getting into a big AC hall, and then sitting along with the servers, doing the codings, helping the vendors to learn how to do trading on computers, because that was the time when we computerized the entire Calcutta Stock Exchange. So while we computerized the Calcutta Stock Exchange, we were given the task also of training the vendors into computer systems, because earlier it was all manual trainings that used to happen, manual trading that used to happen. And so they needed to get acquainted to the computer systems to do their trading. So we started with first teaching the senior guys of stock exchange, who were all approximately above 60 years of age, to manage how computers run. And I'll tell you, it is not the easiest of the job to teach someone at a 60 years age to pick up something new for their livelihood. Okay. But the way we interacted with them, it was more of a family where we all were seated, we were teaching them, they were accepting the things. It was never a teacher and a student relation that we built with the end customer, because there we knew that the people whom we are teaching today are our end customers for tomorrow, because they are the business. They are the ones who are going to define whether we stay in the business of supporting stock markets for their trading, or we move out. Okay, so we cannot become bosses. We cannot become the hardcore teachers telling that, hey, if you have not understood, get lost. No, we cannot do that. So we had to go there. We used to speak to them. Someone we used to call Chachaji, someone we used to call Dadaji or Bhaiya, whatever, depending on the age groups. And accordingly, we used to take it forward. And that is how we started building a relation with the customers first. And when trading started, when they all shifted over to the computerized thing, whenever they wanted help, I can assure you that they normally used to call us directly telling, hey, प्रदीप, मेरा ये डब्बा बंद हो गया है, मेरा ये ऑर्डर नहीं जा रहा है, आप थोड़ा देख सकते हो क्या? So they used to call the computers as dabbas. So we used to have those big, not laptops, the desktops used to be there, and in the stock market they used to call that as dabbas. That was a nice journey of around 6-8 years that I had in Calcutta Stock Exchange, where we built a relation. Again, we also had a very professional relation out there, because with the IT department, we cannot have a friendly relation to take forward. So there we needed to have a professional relationship, because we needed to follow a lot of government regulations. We needed to follow all the necessary SEBI rules and regulations that were adhered to, and ensure that our system or the application that we had built was compliant to all of that. So we always used to have a proper discussion of requirement gathering. We used to have the discussions as to by timelines, by when we should do it, how to do it, modalities of doing it, and all of that thing. Okay, so there also we built a lovely relationship with the IT department, with the general managers, with the president of IT, and we used to interact with them on a daily basis. But the faith they had, so couple of things in relationship, let me tell you, which actually has brought us or has taken me where I am today, is a couple of things. Number one, it is the trust factor. Building the trust factor in the customer, or in your vendor, or with your advisor, or with your ancillary systems, is very important. To bring that trust into picture, you need to be transparent. I cannot hide certain things and expect that the opposite side or the opposite person would trust in me. No, I have to be transparent to the person, so that he believes in me, he trusts in me. And that is how. And the third important thing is nurturing of the relationship. How far do I nurture that relationship? It is not a one-day relationship that today I come here, I start my relationship, I get some work from you, and then I forget who you are. No, that will never take me to the heights where I am. So trust, transparency, and nurturing of that relationship in the right direction is what has helped us in building the relationship. And that is how we build the corporate relation also. In corporate relationship, when we go to a different client, we are pretty transparent. So recently I completed a project with one of the large logistics company in France. So while doing it, the initial contract that we had was close to around 1.9 million euros or something around that. But with the passage of time, we found that that was not good enough, because they had a lot of change requirements, and we needed to extend the contract by another 3 to 6 months or something around that. And then we revised the contract and came up with a new pricing of around 2.9 million euros. So the client was pretty surprised. They said, Pradeep, initially, if you remember, the overall work was to be completed at a price of 1.9 million. Now you are telling we need to pay an additional of 2.9 million to complete the task. How is that justified? So I gave them a very clear-cut answer. I was pretty transparent to them there. I said, listen, the time we had done the initial agreement, that was last year, when there was no revision in prices, there was no revision in the cost. But today, as we move forward, yeah, Mr. Kapurchand, you have a question. Hello. हेलो कपूरचंद जी, आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं?
I think you can continue, Mr. Das. Once after you are speaking, we can take up the questions, or you want in between?
No, I would prefer to complete it and then I'll take all the questions.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
You complete your deliberation, then
Sure.
we will take up the question.
Perfect. I'll have around the last 15 to 20 minutes. We'll have all deliberations between us.
Oh yeah,
we'll make it.
Please carry on. Carry on.
Sure. So then what I did, I actually told them that okay, the reason I was transparent to them, giving them the explanation why we had increased the price from 1.9 million to 2.9 million, and to be very candid, let me tell you, client not only accepted it, we did the project, we went live with the project, and the client has given me 2 more projects to deliver. They have given me 2 more projects to deliver without a single RFP which has gone to the other vendors. So that was the trust that I could build in them. That was the transparency that I showed them, because of which the relationship grew. And now I have to nurture that relationship to ensure that it continues to the future. So that is what we called as collaboration and a relationship building with a client. It can be anyone, starting from your home to your vegetable shop, to your business partners, to your government agencies, wherever you go. I can assure you, if you are true to your commitments, if you trust the person and you are transparent to the person and you have nurtured that relationship, I can tell you any collaboration will work. Many big partnerships are broken because of lack of transparency and lack of trust at one point of time. So that is what I have always seen. Now moving over a little bit towards, as I was talking about relationship, why I was focusing on relationship, because that always helps us to understand our customers much better. We get to understand what they are, what they need, and why they need the things. And that is where the customer journey starts. Because, so when I say customer journey, what is a customer journey? The customer journey is something that the customer rides upon when he or she thinks of obtaining a particular product or a service. The moment I start thinking, I start surfing, I start looking into the papers, that is where my customer journey starts. Now, how do I capture, or why is customer journey so important? Customer journey is important because if I do not understand where the customer is in the process of purchasing or obtaining a product, I will not be able to facilitate the same thing, or I will not be able to facilitate to the customer my views about my product, and how do I make my product the best product, or my services the best services for the customer for what he or she is trying to look into. For example, someone is wanting to buy a car. So you don't go and directly get into the showroom and start buying a car immediately. Persons first surf through the different web pages and you try to look into what are the different features, the different classes, the different budgets, and different states, different cities, what the price is, what the taxation is, what is the mileage, what is the engine power, what is the torque, and all of that. Correct? But in that journey, if you nowadays see, when you start surfing, or when I presume all of us now have a smartphone and a laptop through which we keep surfing, each of them asks, can you please key in your name and your telephone number and your email ID? And then you get into the site to do whatever you want to do. Okay, whether you buy, you don't buy. But this data that we collect in the process of customer journey helps us to understand whether this customer is becoming a buyer for tomorrow, is just a person who is surfing today and can be a potential buyer 2 years hence, or is going to be an immediate person, someone whom I should track to really ensure that the person becomes my customer. Okay, so having said that, the moment I start getting into the data, so what happens? There is a process. Each of the so the customer journey goes through multiple phases. One is the moment you start surfing the once you start building your interest towards the product. Second, when you start comparing of the products. Third, that is the evaluation phase. Third is when I start discussing about the product with the dealer system. And then finally, when I get into the what do you call the it's called the just messing out just a minute. It's when I start negotiating the prices around the product and then finalizing the product for myself. Okay. Post that, the customer journey doesn't end when I finalize and product buy. It also gets into the services part where I need to figure out what is the service that the customer is looking forward to and how best I can serve him post the sale. So the customer journey is actually a 360-degree journey of a customer for any product that he or she wants to buy or is willing to buy or post buying the same product also. Hence, that is how we start building the customer journey. We capture the data, we interact with the customer. So there are different tools, there are different analytics that can be used to track which customer, who are the potential customer whom we should immediately target. And this gives us a very good forecast on our product, how our product should be for tomorrow, how our services should be for tomorrow. What is that the customer is looking forward to? Now, tomorrow I go to a particular website to search for a particular product. And let me say it takes me more than 5 to 6 clicks to reach the product. I can assure you, I will leave that website and move into some other website to see where I can find it faster. And if I have not caught the customer in the first 1 minute or 45 seconds to 1 minute, I can tell you the customer is going to move away to somewhere else and start surfing for something else. Recently, one of my friends, I'll tell you, he is in Bhubaneswar itself, had actually gone to buy a Hyundai car. He went and they had all planned for his marriage anniversary. They wanted to buy a Creta. So when he went to the Hyundai shop, the shop said, sir, today we don't have that particular model. So maybe you can come next week and we will showcase you the model, demo you the model and all of that. But his anniversary was anyway approaching. So what he did, someone in the meantime called and said, hey, why don't you go get into Maruti? They have a lovely car called as Vitara. And he went into Maruti showroom. Okay. And you see how the customer journey changes. Now, a person had gone to Hyundai, a brand which he had maybe thought of quite some time ago and had thought, oh, yes, I'm going to buy this product. Now his importance was, now we need to track what is the importance for the customer. The importance was for my anniversary, I need to have a new car, was the importance. Was brand most important? Not really. Yes, having a good car was definitely one of the criterias, but there are equal range of cars. So now if I don't get a Creta, he went into Maruti. Maruti gave him a fabulous demo of the Vitara. They took him on a free drive and all of that. They really cajoled him to a lot that he went ahead and finally bought a Vitara. So now the customer shifted from becoming a Hyundai customer to becoming a Maruti customer. Correct. So, and if I'm not wrong, both the cars have equal good features and everything. So, so that is what we need to track it very closely. As maybe if you are producers, yes. If we are service owners, then we need to ensure that the data is tracked to the point that my customer is coming. I need to have everything ready for him. I cannot allow him to step out of my door telling that no, you are not satisfied. The moment he steps out of your door telling that I'm not satisfied, the journey moves into another trail. Because the need of the customer changes very frequently. And there are multiple alternatives today in the market. Until and unless you have something on which you have a monopoly, no one else has it in the market, then you have to come to me. That is different. But if I'm not in a monopoly market today in the world, I can tell you services industry is not a monopoly market. There are multiple service owners who can give you the same services at different prices. So if I have got my customer here, understood the journey of what the service he's looking at, he has already done his homework, I would always suggest that the customer gets into my organization, builds the relationship with me and stays with me, where I nurture that relationship for the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is. Because once they leave the customer, very easy leaving the customer, telling, no, this is my price point, I don't want to bargain, get lost. Okay, tomorrow in the market, the customer will get into multiple other things. Correct. And we have seen that. We have seen that today when the IT world is going through a tough time, let me tell you. But we all have targets for growth. So today you would be seeing X company firing off few thousand people, Y company firing off another few thousand people. But on the same time, we internally have a target that, okay, by the end of the year, we need to see a growth of 15 to 20%. Now, how do we do that? When all companies you're firing off people, how do I add people to grow? Because we need to add people to grow. In a services industry, I'm in a services industry. To grow, I need to add people. So for me, it is my customers who are the most important, and they're God for me, to be very honest. And the way I have nurtured that relationship with them, the way I have understood their journey, the customer journey, that what they want, where they are today, where they will be tomorrow, and what they're expecting of me as they move through the journey is very important. Because that is where I will be able to connect to them. I will be able to become more transparent to them, and I will be able to gain their trust in ensuring they achieve their targets. So when we say collaboration, relationship building, or customer journey, they all are pretty related to each other in a way that we need to ensure that our customer moves ahead in the value chain while we take them ahead in the value chain, ensuring that they gain the maximum from the market. They are positioned as a lead in the market. And how to do that, what to do that, what to do for that is something that we will have to understand, and every customer will give us something. And in today's world, let me tell you, the most abused word is innovation and artificial intelligence. But what level of innovation that a customer needs to be on is something that we need to decide. Not necessarily everyone will go out for a rocket science to get into artificial intelligence, because that's very expensive also. So if I'm starting something, I just cannot jump into that. Correct. So I need to take my customer slowly across the journey of business. I need to see what my customer's need is and where he or she wants to end up with. And then I need to be there as a supporting person in the services industry specifically to take the customer through the entire journey to ensure that he or she achieves at the right function. So that is how we build the customer journey. That is how we define the customer journey for a customer. There are design thinking classes that we do. There are collaborative sessions that we have with the customer. And on each of the steps, please, I would always like to focus. We should not lose the trust of the customer at any point of time, and we have to be always transparent to the customer. The moment you lose your transparency and your trust, I can tell you the customer will move into someone else who's again going to nurture the same journey or the relationship to ensure the customer is there with him for the longer time. Well, we have another 25 minutes if I'm not wrong. Would you like to have more interactive sessions where you can ask questions and we can take it forward? And I can answer you all. Mr. Mishra, you are on mute.
Yeah. Mr. Pradeep Das, you are, thank you very much for your nice deliberation. You have spoken everything on what's a collaboration, customer satisfaction, marketing, how to hold on the customers, what customers needs in service industries, customer journey throughout. Mahata Gandhi ji कहते जहाँ customer कहीं से सबले ठीक. Customer is God. Customer is God. We have to. যদি customer কে আমি খুশি করি পারিবে ভগবান খুশি হবে. So business র কি মন্ত্র হচ্ছে সেয়া that you have narrated in your limited time deliberation. Now I'll request the participants who were there to ask any question to Mr. Pradeep Das. He is an expert having vast experience on this, even on this marketing or anything on entrepreneurship. All are welcome to ask the questions. We'll take up some questions, then we'll close the session. Please welcome any question to Mr. Das.
I think Mr. Kapurchand had a question. He had raised a hand much before. So not sure if that was for a question or he had just raised it.
Yes, Mr. Kapur Das. Is he there?
Not sure if he's there.
Yeah, any other question also?
Yeah.
Ask first.
Yeah,
otherwise
I have one question, Mr. Das.
Yeah, Mr. Somendra.
Yeah. So right now, if you see the current market scenario, there are a lot of startups. The ecosystem is getting larger and larger in terms of the service deliverable, be it product, be it service. To what extent do you think a company or a startup should extend going beyond the call of the duty? Because you know there is a limit to your service, there is a limit to the product that can deliver to the customer, right? Sometimes just to capture the market, we do tend to get into those areas which we are not very, very comfortable of. Okay, so I just need to understand, like from your point of view or experience, what is your advice to those startups, those who are coming up recently, and how should they evaluate their service and products so that the customer centricity remains at the core of the value proposition?
Appreciate Mr. Somendra for the beautiful question. The first thing is we need to understand what our strength is. Okay, when I am into a business, I need to understand what my strength is and how far can I really deliver that service to my customer to the best of the satisfaction. If I try to just spread my tentacles to 20 different things what the customer needs while not serving them in the right manner will not help me in achieving anything. I need to be honest to the business that I have started. If I've started a service industry for IT delivery and I have a scope of IT delivery to the customer, I should ensure that I first achieve my deliverables to the best. Whatever I have committed to the customer, let me first achieve that to the best. Beyond that, if there is something which the customer is asking, yes, I would take it if I can deliver it to the best. But there is always a price that is associated to it. We should negotiate with the customer. You should be transparent So that is where our transparency comes, where I become very transparent to the customers, telling, sir, madam, this is the money that you have given me. This is my resources that I have put already. So if I need to do something different, I can invest to a certain extent, but I would need your collaboration also to invest in my services. I cannot just go ahead and give you the services free of cost just because I need to keep my business with you. And I'm sure your customers would understand that. It depends what is the type of business that you are into. And as you said rightly, for services industry in today's market, let me tell you, don't give away any freebies. You will not be able to survive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Try to be as realistic as possible.
True.
And try to deliver the best and your strength of services that you can.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I hope I have answered it rightly.
Yes. Thank you.
Any other question, please? Mr. Das?
Das sir, good evening.
Good evening, Umakant sir. Tell me.
I will just thanks for the nice presentation for the deliberations. I want just to one question out there. What are the points one should keep in mind for doing collaborations?
Trust and transparency. Umakant sir, trust and transparency are the two best points. You need to earn the trust of the customer by being transparent to the customer, and you need to nurture that relationship to a larger extent. That collaboration should not be a one-day collaboration. Today I'm transparent, tomorrow I again start hiding things. No, that should not be the thing. If today I'm transparent, tomorrow I'm transparent, I will gain the trust, and please do not lose the trust of your customer. Once the trust of the customer is lost, it's very, very, very difficult in today's world to get it back and regain back your business.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Even any other question other than this relevant to entrepreneurship or startup with the OCF is garnering for trying to help the investors and startups in Odisha for boosting them and mentoring them? Anybody else also any question in this regard? Because this is a continuous process. Every 15 days we are having these webinars to discuss on various aspects relevant to entrepreneurs. Today the subject on marketing, collaboration and all these things. However, any other aspects also, anybody interested to ask any question, we can discuss on this same. Then we'll close the webinar. Any question please to Mr. Das or to me also?
By the way, Mr. Mishra is one of our renowned chartered accountants. So if at all you have any financial questions also, you can shoot it out to him.
Or also you have got any question, you can write it to OCF. We'll try to take care of the problems, difficulties.
Absolutely. If you have anything that you think you are not able to tell out here, you want the answers that I can give, at least from my bandwidth, whatever I know, please do send an email to our OCF, and I'm sure we'll respond back in the right manner. We'll give you the right information or the right advice as to what needs to be done with respect to that.
I think for the time being, there is no other question. So I would thank on behalf of OCF to Mr. Pradeep Das for such a nice deliberation and sparing time to educate the participants. We are privileged to have you along with us. I also thank all the participants to take the benefit of this webinar, and they must have enriched themselves on this marketing aspect. Now we look forward to further future webinars when we will have another experts to speak on various subjects and we will have discussion. Now I think we can close the webinar. Thank you all for participating.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for your lovely time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you from.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.